One of these things I seem to be known for is I'm the hormone queen, but it's such a fascinating subject. I've written a lot of books about them, and I talk about it everywhere and anywhere that I can because it is so life-altering. I call hormones the juice of youth. They have changed my life, but also they've changed my husband's life, and as a result, it's changed the marriage that we have, which was always good, but now it's better. My next guest is a friend of mine, Dr. Scott Vogel from the Life Extension Group. Welcome to the show again. So testosterone, men think if they take testosterone that somehow people will think that they're not manly anymore. So debunk the myth about testosterone for men.
Well, for men, when you're in your 20s and 29s, your testosterone levels, they're at their peak.
You're a testosterone machine.
Testosterone machine. And then once we hit 40, that testosterone starts to decline. Pretty much each year, each decade, it's going down, down, and down. And in fact, most people don't even know this, but when you get your blood tested, if your doctor even checks your testosterone, they give you an age-adjusted range. They adjust the range down, 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 because they know that it goes down.
So this is like when a 65-year-old man goes in and the doctor says, you're fine for your age.
Exactly correct. That's exactly correct.
When men come into you and they want to have their hormones replaced, what are their complaints? Because it's not all about erections, is it?
It's not all about erections. Men notice changes in themselves. Mm-hmm. One of the things that men notice is, I don't feel like myself anymore.
Right.
They're just like, I'm just not the same person I used to be. It could be like a little bit of a depression, a little bit more withdrawn, cognitive function not as sharp. And men can go from what I like to say, ripped to unripped. That means when you're 25, maybe you have that ripped six-pack abs, you know, down here.
Right.
And then you're 45, 55, well, that six-pack is turned into kind of a keg.
Yeah. Well, my husband, when he started losing his hormones, he would say things to me like, I don't know what it is. I'm working out and I seem to be losing muscle. What's that about?
That's about not having enough of the testosterone to send the signal. How I like to explain hormones is, hormones are powerful chemical messengers, and what they do is they go in and inside of your cells and they talk to your DNA. And they send a signal, a message, and that message is heal, repair, restore, and especially in the case of testosterone, build muscle. So as your testosterone's going down, it's hard to build muscle.
It's made such a difference in my husband, Alan. Alan, why don't you just tell what happened to you so we can discuss it?
So when I was 60, that was 16 years ago, I gained 18 pounds around my middle, which I'd never had before. I started taking naps, and I'd never taken naps before. And when Suzanne was cooking dinner, I'd be sleeping in the kitchen. And then after dinner, I'd want to go to bed to go to sleep. And she said to me one day, you're like our old cat. And I'm going to take you to my endocrinologist, which she did. She did a hormone panel, and she said, I'm going to start low dosing you and bring you up to that great place which you're really going to love. I said, why don't you give me everything I need? She said, I can't do that. I have to start gradually. So it took about 6 months. And the other thing that happened was I was losing muscle mass. Also, my brain was a little fuzzy. I was sort of missing thoughts and missing names, and I'd make a phone call and I couldn't remember who I was calling and hope when they answered I'd recognize the voice. Anyway, for 6 months, I went on hormones, and at the end of 6 months, I found my sweet spot. And it's been that way for the past 15 and a half years, and it's great, really. Oh, the other thing I had lost was my libido, and I looked everywhere for it, and I just couldn't find it. It's also come back.
You know what was good when he was sort of fuzzy brain? Because he knows where every dollar is that everybody spends in the house, and he was sort of not noticing things. But no, it really has changed, so changed our life. And also, I think if both members of the partnership aren't doing it, one is kind of left in the dust. And that's really why I said to him, I'm thinking, I'm in the mood all the time, and I've got all this energy, and I want to go out and go dancing, and my partner, who was always there with me, just wasn't feeling like it. So how does a man find out his levels, and then what do you do about it?
You can ask really any doctor, but it's usually best if you work with an alternative-minded doctor who has an interest in this particular area.
Yes. Yes.
At the minimum, a man should get a total testosterone blood test and a free testosterone blood test. Those two can give you some very good starting information. There's lots of other ones out there, but that's the minimum a person should get.
I agree with you on the doctor. If the doctor hasn't chosen to go back to school and learn about bioidentical hormone replacement, it really is like going to a plumber for a heart bypass. It's so out of the element. So, and I admire that. I know that you had to go back to school to learn this whole new specialty. What is this here?
I just brought a sample here. This is a application for testosterone.
So this is testosterone cream.
This is a testosterone cream. This one particular one was done by a compounding pharmacy.
Right.
And it's so easy, people don't even realize. This is a click one where you just take the cap off, you do a couple clicks, a pre-measured amount comes out, and then you rub it on the different areas of the body, and that's it.
And so you determine through their lab work what their individual needs are, and you will prescribe, you know, you're a 1-clicker or a 3-clicker or whatever?
Yes, that's how doctors who do the bioidentical hormones, they do it. They'll look at the blood work, because they almost always want to start with the blood work and see where you're at, and then prescribe the testosterone. And a lot of them, and I'm a strong advocate of this, it's not just testosterone, it's looking at some of the other hormones like DHEA, even pregnenolone, which is the mother hormone, and balancing all of them. The more you can balance, the better outcome you're going to have.
The sex thing, though, for me, is interesting in that I would think that men are ashamed or embarrassed to mention that they can't perform.
You know, years ago that was more true, but nowadays actually it's becoming common where men are talking to other men. They're saying, oh yeah, you know, I started on some androgel, or I see a doctor who's doing some compounded testosterone for me. So men are starting to talk more about it, and it's becoming more accepted now.
What is the most frequently asked question?
The thing that men want is they want to feel like they used to feel like. They want to feel like themselves again. They sometimes have a hard time describing how they actually feel different, and they're kind of more vague, like, I just don't feel like myself. I want to feel like that. I want to feel like that guy before. And so that's what the hormones do. There is a study I wanted to mention. It just came out this year, 2012, the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology. What they found is that if men had deficient testosterone, they had a 40% increase all-cause mortality risk, meaning they could die for any reason, and it was increased 40%. And then it got even more interesting. They said if a man had testosterone deficiency coupled with a vitamin D deficiency, they had a 211% increased all-cause mortality risk.
That's incredible and life-saving information, vitamin D and testosterone levels. Because, again, we're living longer. You got to think about making those last years of quality.
Absolutely.
And it's a long time.
And hormones can help you do that.
So where can people go to find out more about the Juicy Youth?
They can go to lef.org, and actually once they're there, they can type in male hormone restoration. We have a fabulous protocol. It talks about prescriptions, alternative things, all based on science, how men can get help.
And you provide blood tests too?
Yes, they can order blood tests through us. They can get it through their doctor.
That's a great service. Thanks.
It really is.
Yeah, great.
Today, the Suzanne Show is offering a free special report on obesity and the link to low testosterone. It's fast and easy to get the report. Just visit SuzanneTV.com. While you're there, you can also sign up to get a free 1-year Life Extension membership, no obligation. You'll gain access to Life Extension's groundbreaking nutritional, medical, and scientific information for longer life. Plus, you'll be entered for a chance to win exciting prizes every week, including a luxury cruise. It's all part of the Suzanne Show Ultimate Health Giveaway.